This is Algebra 1, Lesson 9-5, Manipulating Expressions. Today's date is February 6th. So welcome back, guys. It's been a long time, and sorry I'm out for a math meeting. I didn't want to go, but something I have to do as a teacher. Alright, so today's lesson is a little bit tricky. If you look at example 1, it looks really hard, but it basically boils down into two steps. Your first step is to, I cannot spell, you need to solve for a variable. So in this case, I have k plus j is equal to 0. I can either solve for k and subtract j, or I could solve for j and I subtract k and try to get one of these variables by itself. And then step 2, plug in. You might have to repeat these steps, but those are the general steps. So let's look at example 1. So here is our, we're starting here. Suppose k plus j equals 0. So I'm just going to randomly say, I'm going to solve for k. So if I rewrite this down, k plus j is equal to 0. I'm going to solve for k, so I'm going to subtract j from both sides. When I do that, these j's cancel out, and I'm left with k is equal to negative j. I have just done step 1. I have solved for the variable. I have solved for the variable k. Okay, now I'm going to do step 2. I'm going to plug in k equals negative j into my expression. So this is the expression I'm going to be plugging into. So I'm going to rewrite this expression. It's going to be 2 times k times j. Well, we know what k is. K is negative j. So here's k, negative j, and there's j still. So when I multiply these all together, j times j is j squared. So I can write this off to the side too, but if I have x times x, that's equal to x squared. If I have like x times x times x, that's equal to x cubed. But if I have x plus x, that's equal to 2x. X plus x plus x, that's equal to 3x. So repeated addition, you have a number out front, a coefficient. Repeated multiplication, you have a power. So if this is multiplying, it's a repeated multiplication, I guess, so I'm going to have to the power of j. So this is going to be j to the power of 2. Now I have a negative still out front, so there's my negative. A negative times a positive is a negative. And don't forget about that 2. We have negative 2j squared. Is that any of our answers? No? Okay, we'll then do steps 1 and 2 for your other variable. On this first step, we solve for k. We solve for this variable. Now I'm going to solve for the other variable. Let's try that out. So I'm going to rewrite k plus j is equal to 0. I'm going to solve for j now by subtracting k from both sides. Minus k, and I'm left with, these k's cancel out, so I'm left with j is equal to negative k. Okay, and I'm going to do the same thing. I have my expression 2kj. I'm rewriting it 2 times k times j, but j in this case now is negative k. Negative k. Hey, it's very similar to our last problem. So k times k is k squared. I have a negative times a positive, so this is a negative. And I'm also having a 2. Negative 2k squared. Hey, look at that. Negative 2k squared. That's d, and that is the answer. Alright, let's try again with example 2, and then we can work on the homework. So now I'm supposing this, and I'm trying to find an expression for this. So k plus j equals 3k. I'm just going to rewrite this, so it's going to be k plus j is equal to 3k. Which one do we want to solve for first? It doesn't matter. I'm going to solve for, I see that if I solve for j, I'll get the k's on the same side. See how we can, preemptively see that if I can subtract k from both sides, these will be able to be subtracted. You can't subtract j from k. It stays separate. You can't combine those. They're not like terms. But if I do this and solve for j, then I can figure out what it is only in terms of k. So those cancel out. I'm left with j is equal to 2k. Alright, so from there, I'm going to look at my expression, and I have k over j. I'll rewrite it. K over j. And instead of writing j on the bottom, I have 2k. The bottom is 2k, so I'm going to put 2k like that. And whenever things are being multiplied, 2 is being multiplied times k, you can cancel out. So I have a k on the top, a k on the bottom. I can cross those two off. And whenever you divide by k, okay, I'll back up here. What I'm really doing is I'm dividing the top by k and dividing the bottom by k. K divided by k is 1. So 1 is left on the top. 2k divided by k, well, it kind of cancels those k's off, and I'm just left with 2, which is the equivalent of just crossing off your k's and being left with a 1 on the top. So my answer here is 1/2. My answer here is B. Right, so those are two examples that are going to be very similar to the homework. Go ahead and give the homework a try. And if you have any questions, I'll see you guys on Friday, because technically Thursday is a ski PE day.